Hello everyone, lesson number 6, right? Yes. Sefirot, Kabbalah and the Tree of Life. We're going through the book Kabbalah for Beginners, basic concept in Kabbalah. We've talked about, so far we've talked about the general scheme of creation, what Kabbalah talks about actually, how everything was created, how it developed until the level of our world, the perception of our world, we can say that, because in the end it's all about how we perceive this force that is called the Creator, and how we develop from this perception, from this level of our world, back to the root, meaning attaining again the force that controls everything, the field that we're in, which is called the Creator. We also talked about the beginning of this process, how the light, meaning the information or the pleasure, the sense of the sensation of the Creator, creates the vessel, creates the creature, and there are 4 phases in that. We've talked about 3 and the root. We also talked about the quality of the Creator as the will to bestow, the quality of the creature as the will to receive. And what we'll do today, we'll take it from page 54 in the book Kabbalah for Beginners. You also have the link. If you don't have the book, you have the link in the description, either on YouTube or Facebook. Now I know many of the people are watching it not in live, so you can download it and have it for future use. And we'll go with this book for a few lessons, and then we'll see what's next. Also, maybe we'll try to add another lesson on Sundays, Israel time, so it will be like Saturday night in the US, or wherever you are on the planet. You should calculate your time zone according to that. And that's it. If you have questions, please ask. If you have any comments about last time, you have all the lessons organized in a playlist with the name of the course on YouTube, on Kabbalah Info channel on YouTube. And if you want to go into a more in-depth study, you also have a link in the description for the beginner's course that will take you through a very in-depth process of studying a lot of more material and different aspects of Kabbalah. That's it for the intro. So we're on page 54, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, 54, phase 4, craving the Creator's mind. Okay. Okay. So let's read it and see if we have questions, and maybe we'll do a little sketch. Now it seems we have a perfect cycle where the Creator has succeeded in making the creature identical to him, to himself, a giver. Moreover, creation enjoys this giving and thus pleases the Creator. Okay, so what they refer to here is the process that we've talked about of the 3 initial steps of the creation. So meaning, if we have the if we have the thought of creation, which is the root, the Creator, the desire to bestow to the creature, and this we said is, let's say, step 0, then this will to bestow creates the vessel, the will to receive, so it can realize itself. It will have someone that can actually receive the abundance, receive the light, and this is phase 1. This is called light. This is vessel, or in Hebrew we say kli, and light is all. Okay, and we talked about it, that in the sensation of the light, beside the pleasure, the kli, the will to receive, has the capability to sense in the light also the sensation of the giver, which is a sensation that is like clothing or inside of the pleasure. And just as we give a very simplistic example, that if I receive $1 million from Bill Gates, then after enjoying the $1 million, I want to be like Bill Gates. And then the vessel wants to bestow, just like the Creator. And what he reveals in this process, that he doesn't actually have the light itself. It doesn't generate light. It's not the source of the light like the Creator. So it cannot go on in this action endless, like eternally, okay? So what it needs to do, it creates phase number 3, in which it wants to keep bestowing, but it wants to receive some light in order to be able to bestow. And this stage number 3 is what the passage that we just read refers to, that that you can say that the Creator created something that it's like himself, okay, like a giver. But does this complete the thought of creation? Yes. So does the process stops here? Have we reached the end of the process in which the Creator became, the creature became like the Creator? Not quite. In a sense, we can say about the creation that she can walk his walk and talk his talk, but she cannot think his thought. The act of reception in phase 1 and the understanding that the Creator's only wish is to give in phase 2 make creation want to be in the Creator's state, which is phase 3, meaning connecting both the bestowal and the reception into one, both the dark and the light. So you can say that in a simplistic way we say that the Creator is the will to bestow, but actually a will to bestow is just one appearance of his, because the will to receive also comes from him, and like a deeper level of attainment in the Creator is how these two opposites, how the darkness and the light, how the good and the evil are connected into one. But becoming a giver like the Creator doesn't mean that the creation has achieved the Creator's state. To complete the thought of creation, she must achieve the Creator's thought, not just his action, meaning not just mimicking it externally, okay, in action, but actually attaining like the consciousness, or they call it a mind or a state of the Creator. In such a state, she would understand why the Creator formed her. Clearly, the desire to understand the thought of creation is an entirely new phase. The only thing we can compare it to is a child who wants to be both as strong as wise as its parents. Yes, so the parent cannot upload his mind or his consciousness to a disk on key and then download it into the child's brain. So you have to create some kind of relationship in which the child is mimicking also externally, in many cases, the actions of the grown-up. But in order to be truly like the parent, he would need to be a parent himself. Okay, this is very important. We instinctively know that this is possible only when the child matures and steps into his or her parents' shoes. This is why parents so often say to their kids, wait until you have children of your own, then you'll understand. In Kabbalah, understanding the thought of creation, the deepest level of understanding, is called attainment. This is what the will to receive craves in phase 4. So we have phase 4, in which the creature, the Versa, doesn't want only the pleasure as it was before, but also the attainment of the state of the Creator, okay? And this is called the complete creature that is ready to start a process. And what would be the process? The process would be the process of creation, just like the Creator created from the will to bestow. No, it's not good to do it, because it will confuse with the number of the step. I'll do it differently. So just like the Creator created from the will to bestow the will to receive, meaning from the plus, the minus, the creature will need to create from his own will to receive the minus. He would need to create himself into a creator, to be the plus. And what matters in that is the process, okay? It's not just the action, it's the process, because the process allows the creature to attain the creator's mind or state or consciousness or whatever. We just say attain the Creator, okay? Not just his qualities. Okay. One of the most common terms in Kabbalah is Sefirot. The word comes from the Hebrew word Safir, and each Sefirah, singular of Sefirot, has its own light, meaning it's like the stone that shines. Also, each of the 4 phases is named after one or more Sefirah. Phase 0 is named Keter, Phase 1 Chokhmah, Phase 2 Binah, Phase 3 Zeranpin, and Phase 4 Malchut. So this is like terminology that we'll add here. Okay, so the first one is called, in Hebrew, Chokhmah. This is called Binah. These are just names, okay? So just related to it as names, just like when a child learns, so he knows this is a cow, this is a sheep. It's not the same, although he doesn't really understand what it is, or what does the name mean. Zeir and Pin. And phase 4 is Malchut. So actually, each one of those is called Sefirah, okay? Sefirah is like a stone that shines. So in Kabbalah, we usually relate to a Sefirah either as some kind of attainment of the light that comes directly from the Creator, like here. So each one is a different like color or flavor of the attainment of the Creator. Or usually, later on, we'll refer to Sefirah as a combination between the light and the vessel. So you have the vessel, the kli, you have the light, and you have like, you'll see later on, there will be like 10 different main combinations of the two. Okay, so these are the options of what is Sefirah. Actually, there are 10 Sefirot, okay, so now they say that, because Zeir Pin is composed of 6 Sefirot. Okay, Chesed, Gvura, Tiferet, Netzach, Od, and Yesod. Therefore, the complete set of Sefirot is Keter, Chokhmah, Binah, Chesed, Gvura, Tiferet, Netzach, Od, Yesod, and Malchut. Okay, so again, these are all names right now, but let's just add them. So the 0 is Keter. So I have Keter, Chokhmah, Binah, Zeranpin, and Malchut, which is only 5, but because Zeranpin is divided into 6, maybe later on we'll see why. So this is called Chesed, Gvura, Tiferet, Netzach, Hod, and Yesod. Later on, maybe we'll see what is the meaning of each and how does the process makes them unfold one from the other. And usually we use a lot of, how do you call it in English, like initial letters that you want to talk in a short way, like in the army. So instead of Keter, Chokhmah, Binah, Zeranpin, Malchut, we just say Kachab, and with Zeranpin it will be later Zon or Tum, you'll see, depends what we use. And Chesed, Gvura, Tiferet, it's Chagat, Nei. Okay, so these are just like shortcuts, because in Kabbalah the language is very short. You try to do it like in a very symbolic way, just like in mathematics, okay? Okay, and so let's finish this part and then we'll see if we have questions. The desire to acquire the thought of creation is the most powerful force in creation. It stands behind the whole process of evolution, whether we are aware of it or not. The ultimate knowledge we all seek is the understanding of why the Creator does what He does. It is the same drive that urged Kabbalists to discover the secrets of creation thousands of years ago. Until we understand it, we will have no peace of mind. Because we are built in a way that we are not only programmed to receive, just like in the song, but we are actually programmed to attain the Creator. So until we reach that state, we cannot find truly a balance or fulfillment. So we can have all the abundance that we want, we can imagine we'll still have an internal lack, some lack of either meaning or a goal or a purpose, some lack of understanding why things happened the way they did. And the basic, most strongest drive or question in human history is the assumption, because we have this really natural, childish, internal assumption that there is some kind of good future, force that does good, a good creator, doesn't matter how we imagine that. We like naively programmed to believe that in the end it's going to be good. That's why we wish a Happy New Year, and we don't say, like, statistically there's a good chance you'll divorce this year or get cancer or whatever, but we actually have this very naive assumption that everything is going to be good or will be on the winning side, etc., etc. Although we see all the horrors and all the problems in the world. And this natural tendency that comes from the fact that the force that created us, the field we are in, is truly the will to bestow, to give, or of complete internal abundance, and we are just incapable of receiving it at the moment. So the fact that we feel this force as in this way, and together with the suffering that we experience, creates the biggest drive in human history, which is the attempt to try to explain the question of pain and sorrow. So if there is a God or a creator that is good, how come we suffer so much? And from this question, all the religions, all the spiritual methods, all of morality, all of philosophy came to be in order to just justify and explain this and answer this question. We'll see later on how Kabbalah relates to this question, and it's completely different from what people usually think. Okay, now let's see if we have questions. Okay, here we don't have questions. And hello to Alex, Marilana, Rami, Barbara, and more. But we have questions? No questions. Okay, so we don't have questions. Let's see if we'll start a new chapter. No, this would be too long. Okay, so we'll finish with that, and we'll start on page 56 with the quest for the thought of creation next time. Okay, so it will probably be Sunday or Saturday night, but you can also always watch it like afterwards, and you can ask questions. Like, for example, if you're on YouTube, you can just ask questions on the video, and then I'll see it later on and refer to it in the next lesson. Okay, so that's it for now. Have a good day, good evening, wherever you are, and I'll see you next time.